Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Justyna Topolska, and I would like to welcome you to our fourth smartLAB meeting. Today, our special guest is Dr. Begum Shahin. She is the Vice Dean of the Faculty of Economy and Administration and the Director of Entrepreneurship and Leadership Center of the OSTIM Technical University in Ankara. After the lecture, we are going to have some minutes for the Q&A questions. So please write down all your questions, remarks, write also in our chat, and we are going to spend some time to answer your questions at the end. Please.
Thank you. Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here today with you. As I'm coming from Turkey, OSTIM Technical University from Ankara. So today we are going to talk about the Turkish startup ecosystem and what we are doing in OSTIM Technical University related with entrepreneurship, and also some issues related with marketing and market orientation of startups. It was some results of my one of my academic studies. So I want to share the marketing side of Turkish startups as well with you. Okay, so let's start. Just, yes, a few minutes just to meet myself, to know, to improve some collaborations maybe for the future studies. I'm the Director of Entrepreneurship and Leadership Center. I have the founder director, in fact, and I am also the head of International Trade and Finance Department, and yes, Vice Dean. And but this month I think I'm going to end up but continue with the International Trade and Finance Department. There are some pictures of the institutions that I had experience with the projects. They are also related with the international programs for EU and also for Turkish governmental project institutions that are supporting the startups and the funding issues. So especially with my PhD study, I have focused on the market orientation and the startups commercialization and the product development. So I had some TTO experience in my previous university. It was also, it gained to me some experience, especially related with this entrepreneurship ecosystem. So I just want to start with our center, what we are doing in our university, and maybe it can be an experience share that our model, what are we going to do, and now currently what we are doing with our students. Our university has funded in 2019. It's a young university, in fact, but in the first day of our university foundation, we had also funded our center. So we are focusing on techno-entrepreneurship, social entrepreneurship, women entrepreneurship, and organizing the trainings and the, some programs like the competitions and acceleration programs, and for the preparation of our students to apply for the fundings, and trying to provide an entrepreneurship ecosystem in our university. So I want to show you some of our projects. It was a pre-incubation center that is related with social entrepreneurship. We had a grant from the government about this funding our center for the social entrepreneurs. And this is another one. This is a laboratory, in fact. The instruction infrastructure of the our laboratories like electronic machinery and digital design atelier, VR atelier, we have funded by Turkish government for our laboratories. And this is one of our important events. We are closing the semester with our pitching day activity. For the last 2 years, we have organized it online, but this year we are going to make it face-to-face. So, in our entrepreneurship lectures, we design it like an acceleration program. We are making a mentor matching after a basic training, and our students are working hands-on on these laboratories for their business idea generation. And at the end of the semester, we match them with the investors, and they can make their pitch and also have the opportunity to take an investment. Yes, this is the website of our pitching day activity. This is one of the photo for women entrepreneurship. It was before pandemic, so we were all together. We are doing it every March to celebrate this Women's Day as well. And it was a virtual hackathon. We make it with Azerbaijan Technical University. And for this year, before we end up this year, we are planning to do one with Bosnia-Herzegovina. And so we are so open to make some collaboration with international base as well. And also we had like those type of webinars. These guys are not only our students, but also some good practices from the ecosystem. They are, one of the guy is Forbes 30 under 30. He has a startup in US. And we had started in pandemic period, but still we are continuing to this online webinars. So you can also continue it on our OSTIM Technical University YouTube channel. And yes, a little bit about our entrepreneurship courses design. Now we are following up 2 projects. One of them is Erasmus+. It's the for the higher education students to maintain entrepreneurship and digitalization competencies to the students. And the other one is we are also, you are AGH also a partner to our other project. It's Energy Transition Entrepreneurs in Action. So we are focusing on energy startups in this project. So we are going to make a hackathon in June related with our, I can use it? Yes, related with our project. Maybe you can see. So it was an output of our project. Here you see our partners from Italy, Greece, and Spain. This is another study of our center. We are providing a scorecard to our students. It's a non-academic based scorecard. If the students is doing something related with entrepreneurship, it can be like to open up his or her own startup, or take a partnership to a startup, or have a loan or grant from those funding organizations, or maybe there can be something related with just reading a book related with entrepreneurship, like 0 to 1, for example. They are going to enter all these activities to the system, and we are controlling what they do. And if we confirm, this is a flow chart, this one is Turkish. If we confirm at the end of the graduation, with the diploma, we are also providing this non-academic transcript, or we can call it certificate as well. But this is important not only to be a company founder, but to make a career as well in a company. It shows that this student has some experience related with entrepreneurship, some skills with related with entrepreneurship. So we think that it's a chance, or it's something important that differs the students from the others, that he has some opinions with entrepreneurial issues as well. And yes, let me briefly explain the courses. The first semester more the theoretical, concept oriented, with the issues related with the, let me show you, the canvas model, idea generation, business plan, and the patent issues, intellectual property issues, strategies for growth, and also the funds and the government funds, the other investments. And we would like to also focus on marketing, branding in entrepreneurship, and some of the failures of startups. This is generally because of the lack of the customer orientation. So we are also giving all these important issues to the students with the engineering departments and architecture department, and also in business administration department as well. So all our students in the university are taking this entrepreneurship course in the first semester and in the second semester. And as I explained you, this is the first semester, but in the second semester, they are going to, they become we match them with the students from the different faculties, and they had groups, and they work on, make a hands-on work on our laboratories, and make the idea generation, and at the end, in the pitching day, they make their pitching in the front of investors. And also, as there are two frameworks here, this is defined by European Commission, the digital competencies and the entrepreneurship competencies. The syllabus of our courses are also developed according to those frameworks. And some resources about the course theoretical side. And all you know, those are the basic books, and one of them is mine on the left, but it is Turkish. I translated to English. I hope at the end of this year it's going to be an English book as well. So yes, those are the main issues we are doing in organized by our center. So it is related with the entrepreneurship course. We are coordinating it. It is a design of an acceleration, and the organizations and the pitching and the other events and the projects, or all of them are organized by our center. So I want to continue what is happening in Turkey with the startup ecosystem. So it was the first part is related with what is happening in OSTIM Technical University, but this side is related with the whole country. So every year we have a state of Turkish entrepreneurship ecosystem prepared by our Prime Ministry and also some research agencies, and also we contribute this report. So I got some parts from that report. In fact, for Turkey, we can divide the periods in 3 sides. Between, it is like start with the millennium, for 9 years, it was a bootstrap period. At the time, the funds are limited, so in general, startups are created by their own financial support. So we don't have this investor or VC ecosystem so much developed. So it was a bootstrap model for the first 10 years, for the first decade. In the second period, after 2010 till 2017, some supporting actors have realized, has entered the system, and these angel investors, VCs, corporate VCs, and the accelerator programs are established during that time. And after 2019, we had a, in fact, takeoff period. We really witnessed our first unicorn and make a jump related with the ecosystem. And we had also our first IPO. So one of the startups are on the stock right now in New York Stock Exchange. So the ecosystem is taking off. So I want to show you some here a flow chart and also some graphs what happened from this 10 year. So in 2012, the grant program of TÜBİTAK, it's Turkish Research and Scientific Institution, they have launched BIG. BIG is in Turkish is the support program for the early starters. There is a grant, it's 200,000 Turkish liras. If the idea is okay and if it is decided to be supported, the government provides 200,000 Turkish lira as a seed fund to the startup. And after 2013, there had been a mentorship program support and also accreditation of angel investors. So this accreditation is done by the government again, Ministry of Treasury and Finance. So as an individual, you can become an angel investor, but you should be accredited. And in 2014, supporting technology funds, it was a EU project. It was financed by EU and also the European the Bank of Investment and also the ministry. So it was a big project, and much of the university and TTOs and the entrepreneurship centers are also included to the project. Many mentorship programs have launched. And also in the, yes, let me continue with the supporting international accelerators. This is also followed by COSGAP. COSGAP is another institution for SMEs, of Turkish SMEs. So it is another acceleration program. And let me continue with the last 3 years, especially so much improvements in the last 3 years. There had been a venture capital funding program, again financed by Ministry of Treasury, and a grant for development of startups and equity-based crowdfunding. You know, the crowdfunding is, there are different types of crowdfunding. There can be a donation-based crowdfunding. It is equity-based crowdfunding in Turkey right now, but it is official and it is also accredited by the Capital Markets Board of Turkey. So we have our first platform. Now the entrepreneurs can be funded by crowdfunding model as well. And the last thing, we have 2 new funds, and one of them is FOF. We call it Funds of Funds, because it's a really big amount for the startups. It is like nearly 100 million US dollar. It is again related with Development and Investment Bank of Turkey, and also Regional Development Fund and Innovation Fund. And also there are some development agencies who are following up those fundings when the startups are applying to that. So according to those supports, design and all the preparations and everything last 10 years, we got these results here. As you see, now we have officially 69 accelerators in Turkey. But this is also the results of 2021. So most probably we have more than 69 for today, but we are going to report it at the end of 2022. So acceleration programs, you know, it is really important, and the number we have received now is like 70 programs. And incubators, again, as you can see here, it has reached like 22, and I'm sure it's going to increase. So you can see the flow as well. In 2010 there was 8, but now we had 10 times more right now. So it is improving. And the other is technoparks. This is also had a rise. Now we have officially 68 technoparks in Turkey. Also, for the advantage of technoparks in Turkey is we have a low technology development zones. This is also a governmental taxation issue. You can see here for income and corporate taxpayers are had a advantage that if they have a software or R&D operations, they are excluded with the taxation till the end of 2028. And also, you can see here the other taxing or the insurance premium exemptions or related with work rights. It is also supporting the companies, startup companies. And another law, it is R&D law. In short, if you are not in technopark, but you are doing some operations related with R&D, then again you have some tax exemptions and some discounts or some advantages related with your company's R&D operations. So it is really very make Turkey to be a choice for global startups as well. We have now new entrance of global startups. Their headquarters is founded in Istanbul, but they can have agencies in US, in Silicon Valley, in India, or anywhere else, but they are trying to use those advantages because of the taxing issues. So, because of that, we have co-working spaces, because beside the technoparks, if you are located in a co-working space and you are doing R&D operations, you can have these type of advantages because of these regulation issues. So you don't have to be in technopark, you can be in a co-working space, but you can do R&D, so you got those taxing or insurance premium advantage as well. So we have like 38 co-working spaces all over the country. They are like, some of them are the international ones, but some of them are local. You know, those startup atmosphere that are really nice places to be chosen by the startup founders. And yes, the investment. What about the investment? It is also related with the VCs, corporate VCs or angel investors, and also a government supported investment program has launched. So it is also a big chance for the startups and for the investors as well, because they can have a part of this big fund, and when they make an investment, they had also the guarantee that is a part of the government. So it is an advantage for the investors. So yes, those are the angel investors and business angels in Turkey, but they are, maybe you have heard those Galata business angels, those Keiretsu, it's an international one, and they are making those investments for the potential ones that can be turned a unicorn. And I will show you, we had also the unicorns. It is also going to be really rapidly and rising graphic. And those are the early stage local funds and investment firms in Turkey. One of them are also international, but some of them are local ones. And here you see the funds of the VCs. Some of them, the capitals for the startups abroad. So Turkish investors are also make investments to global startups, but most of them are for the Turkish ones. So you can see the we call the dry powder, the money, as it is also increasing. For the 2021, it's the I think the first quarter, or the total of 2 quarters, half of the 2021. But you can see in 2022 it has risen nearly $350 million for the capital of investors, both for global and Turkish startup investment issue. So it is rising. And this is the merge and acquisitions. It is also for the startup world, exit issue, and the unicorns, let's say. So you see here those top 5 exits, and they become also unicorn. Our first unicorn was Peak Games. It was, and the investor is Zynga. The Peak Games is a Turkish startup. It is the first unicorn. As you see here, it was valued $1.8 billion in 2019 or 20. And then Hepsi Burada, it is our first IPO as well. Now it is in Nasdaq, so it is our second unicorn. It's an online shopping, e-trade startup. And Trendyol as well. The merger is Alibaba, you know. And the other is Yemek Sepeti. It is again an online website. And Gram Games, it is also founded by Zynga. But here, Yemek Sepeti has a big investment, but it is not a unicorn. Getir has become a unicorn. It also opened up to Europe and US. I don't know, maybe you have heard or not, but Getir is an also online service and website. So now the right side is Turkish unicorns. The one of them, the first one, Peak Games, it was 2019, I guess. The others are 2020, and the last one is 2022 is Insider. All of them are related with e-commerce or software sector. So we hope it is going to continue. We call them the $1 billion club because they had equity at least $1 million to become a unicorn. And yes, this is the big support program that is designed by Turkish Science and Technology Institute. So just give you some info. The foundation is coming from the government, but there is some TTOs and universities or this entrepreneurship centers are the partners of TÜBİTAK. So the startups are going to make the application, those institutions, not directly to TÜBİTAK, to the universities or TTOs or the entrepreneurship centers. After the first pre-application, if they are confirmed, then they can make the exact application to TÜBİTAK. If their idea is okay, then they are going to get the grant. And some of the corporate VCs and accelerations, those are, you can see here, Mercedes-Benz, Turk. So it is a program funded by Mercedes. So it's a corporate VC. And Eczacıbaşı is a big company, a Turkish company. And again, this is Türk Telekom in telecommunications sector. So what I mean is those corporates are also entering the ecosystem to be a investor and venture capital as well. So this was a Turkish snapshot for the ecosystem. And in the last part of my presentation, I want to share with you my own study, again focus on the Turkish startup companies, what they are doing related with the marketing issue because we read and follow up their activities, but what we see is they are really miss the marketing concept and customer focus. So this is really an important issue for them. So I just want to make an investigation about this topic. Okay. Yes. So, why startups fail? As I mentioned, I just want to know because what I was talking was the good side of the story. But some of the startups are also failing and close up very short term. So we are also, as in my TTO experience, I was also coordinating the startups, and in my previous university we have an incubation center. So they hire a place, but they left very short time. So I just wonder why they are closing or fail. So I want to know more closely what is the problem behind the scene. So I just want to know there is a lack of business plan, there is a lack of something related with marketing strategy or related with customer issue, customer relationship. So of course it was an academic study, so I have to take a basement related with literature as well. So what I ask, like what is the problem with the startups and marketing, is in fact in the literature side, the concepts with market intelligence or technology orientation or customer analyze or the marketing strategy for customer value or customer equity. So I made some research and also some articles, readings. So I focus on these items. And also I read some reports because the concept is also very practical and we have really, like the Turkish snapshot, we have really very global based reports related with the startups and their activities. So one of them is CB Insights report. I read it and I see that it is again the failures of startups are related with marketing issues, like for the idea of the startup is no relation with the market, so the market is not ready for this idea. Also, not the right team or the pricing or the product is not friendly use or the product without a business model, poor marketing issues, ignoring customers. All of them are, in fact, are the subtitles of marketing, you know, the 4 Ps or the basic marketing principles. All of them are related with the marketing issue. So I said that, yes, I'm focusing on a good issue and just to know what's happening. So I just, of course, this is my limitation. It was only a study covering Ankara. Only the sampling is coming from only one area. And I reached 141 startups. It was an empirical study. And the main questions are, those startups are market-oriented, and this, if they are, there is an effect with firm performance. And also I just want to know if they are using digital marketing, because they should, because they are more technology based companies, if they are doing it, they are also related with inbound marketing, because inbound marketing is the less capital-based marketing and new type model of marketing. So I focus on these questions, but unfortunately the rate is really very low. So this means that I don't want to make an academic seminar, but just to know that this means that they are really very unaware of marketing activities and they are not market oriented. And what the things affecting the firm performance has this type low effect, like nearly 7% is affecting the firm performance. So the marketing activities effect is very low. So this means that they are really very far away from market orientation. So another thing I just asked, related with acceleration programs, if you join an acceleration program, but most of them said no. And also marketing channels, what do you prefer, digital marketing or the traditional ones, the direct sales or advertising, PR? I saw that it is like, they said yes to all of them, but this means that in fact they are not very related with this, because they should be more digital marketing oriented. What I expect is this, because those are technology oriented companies. So they have to know more about digital marketing as well, but they said this shows that they are not. And also for patent application, most of them said no, we don't make an application. And the one who made the patent application, only 19 of them finalized the application process. So this means that their conscious and their point of view about marketing is really very low. For the inbound marketing, this is a more organic marketing concept. So because of the startups' limited capital, they can make a choice for the inbound marketing, but they have to provide good content. They have to update the topics. So they need some time, of course, but what we see that they are not doing inbound marketing as well. In fact, inbound marketing can be a good choice for them because they don't have to spend so much money for the like the other traditional marketing issues, because the outsourced marketing, advertising issues, they have to pay a lot. But therefore, I focus on inbound marketing, but I see they are not concentrate on inbound marketing as well. This is a study of Deloitte. I want to show it as well because they are trying to make a ranking for the fast growing 50 technology-oriented companies in Turkey. And what I want to show you is the average growth is really much. This is an annual growth. And it is nearly to 1,000%. This means really something. They are growing up, but they are, especially for the intellectual property issues, they are not very focused on these topics. So this shows that it can be a little bit risky in the long run to continue this grow up as well. So what to do, especially about marketing? They have to go viral, because although they don't use inbound marketing, the social media is a chance for them. So they can reach the potential customers, and they don't have to have a big marketing budget. As you know, content is the king, so they can write blogs or they can update the websites, they can manage the social media, so it is important. And of course, the traditional marketing, we should also continue it, supporting with the inbound marketing or social media inputs. And they should, yes, they should spend their money for sales team, in fact, because they try to do something like the founders, one or two young entrepreneur. They try to do everything by themselves, the marketing, the accounting, the sales, but it is not continue like this. And also they are, in general, they are engineers, and they are a little bit far away from business or administration issues. So especially for sales and marketing as well, they have to have a team member to organize these issues. And yes, market research is important. Without touching with the market and the demand of the market, they can't know what the customer needs. So they have to keep in touch with the market, especially with a little research, but they have to make a research for the determine the market needs as well. Yes, this is one of the quotation of Simon Sinek. People don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. As you all know, in those canvas, we try to explain the value creation. So people just want to buy the thing that solve their problem, that decrease their pain. So for the startups, especially in the beginning, in idea generation, they have to focus on to find an idea to make a value creation as well. And yes, this is the last thing I want to show all over the advantage of Turkey as well. The co-founder of Parachute, he's from China. He founded his company in Turkey because he said that Turkey has a large engineering labor force with comparatively low labor costs. Yes, this is a reality. And Turkish government is heavily incentivizing technology investment, what I try to explain you before this presentation. So those wax and payroll taxes issues, it's an advantage. So a startup that is able to locate its R&D team to Turkey while selling in global market can benefit from those advantages. So a startup can significantly stretch out its initial runway while fine-tuning product market fit. So I just want to know, tell or explain you the Turkish startup ecosystem. It is really growing up, but still this is a case from Turkey. The marketing or market orientation activities are low for Turkish startups, but for the advantage of the market, we invite the global investors and also founders to Turkey to benefit from those advantages. And also, in the beginning, just to share with you the ecosystem in our university, we are trying to prepare our students in the first year of their education to startup and entrepreneurship ecosystem as well. Yes, so thank you. This is my information. If you would like to reach me or any questions in the long run. Yes, thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Shahin, for a very inspiring speech. Now we have time for a Q&A session. Please have a time for your questions.
I have a first question from chat.
Okay.
It's a question about the founders of the spin-off. How can you describe the ideal candidate for a technological startup? What is important? What competencies and experiences should she or he have?
Okay. As I'm more market-oriented because of my background as well, technology is important, of course, but if the market is not ready for this, it becomes not an innovation. It becomes just a creation, and it can be put on the laboratory or anywhere else. So the important thing is with the technology, but also the product market fit. So again, I want to mention, just to improve an idea and for the idea generation process, like make some pivoting. You know, there is a MVP loop, so you have to connect with the customers or the potentials, with the market, I mean, just to get some feedbacks from the customers about your idea, just to focus on value equity. I mean, your idea is solving the problem of the market, and also it should be technology oriented, and especially for today, to grow up very speed and rapidly, it should be technology oriented. Even it's just an internet startup, not a high tech, it should be a technology oriented idea.
We have another question from YouTube viewer. What elements of support for startups are effective or most expected?
What
Elements of support for startups
Yes.
are effective or most expected?
Okay. In general, the startups are, as we know from Apple or the Google or Amazon, they are a very young generation founded companies. So those guys, and also Facebook, you know, those guys have a limited capital in the beginning. So the important thing is to have a good seed funding. You know, in the early stage, there are 3F rules. You can get money from friends, family, or fools, we call. But this is really important for them. So in Turkey, we are trying to do it for the seed funding and also pre-seed funding. This is important for those entrepreneurs to give them some ways to get the foundation, because they are related with many issues. Like they are very young, but they are also going to be a founder. I mean, they are going to have a company in the early 20s. They have to have an accountant. They have to try to manage people. They are trying to also make some marketing as well. It is really very difficult for them. So just to be relaxed and to feel relieved, they have to have at least a seed funding issue. They have to solve this problem. So I don't know, here in Poland you have those type of supporting the government side, but for me it is important, especially for the early stage, to solve these financial issues.
Okay, it was, I will have my private question.
Okay.
It was very inspiring for me, this information about the entrepreneurship scorecard.
Okay.
So I would like to know how many students get involved into this, because it sounds really inspiring. I don't know if you have also this impression that after pandemia it's difficult to get involved students.
Yes.
There are many online events. So this sounds really interesting. There is a certificate at the end.
Yes.
So how is it working actually?
Yes, thank you. The scorecard is a non-academic transcript, and not all our students have to get it. So it's not a must. If they don't have a scorecard, they are of course have their graduation and diploma. But what we are trying to do, just it's a little award or a motivation for the students who has those entrepreneurship skills, even not a founder as well. So this is a system. They are entering their info to our system, and we are controlling it. But again, it's not the official transcript, so we are also very flexy about what they do. Even they read the Alexander Osterwalder and put a picture of the book, and I read it, or and we asked them just make a summary of the book, and he writes. It is okay. We give him 5 points. Even he can be a founder, he can have a place in an incubation center. Then it's going to have him to get more points. But at the end, what we are trying to do is, even he is not going to be a startup founder and he is going to apply for PG, for example, Procter & Gamble or Novartis or somewhere else, this certificate means something to the hire, to the company, as he is dealing with those issues. So he has a potential, he can be a good leader, he can be a candidate for us, to work with us, a positive one, someone to take risk or even know the startup world. So it's going to be a plus for him to be selected. And for the pandemic, what we do, especially for those OSTIM Tech on-air seminars and some online seminars, was for that. If he watch it and also prove, we also gave him a point for the scorecard.
Thank you. Yeah, please.
Okay, so thank you for a very interesting lecture. You've covered so many topics that actually I have like 20 questions.
Okay.
But I won't read all of them.
Thank you.
Of course.
Okay.
And I will ask all of them. But starting from the beginning, it was really nice to hear the idea behind this entrepreneurial courses at your university. So if you could tell us a little bit more about the organizational side of this. So this is a mandatory for all the students, no matter of the faculty or the field of study.
Yes.
All of them has to go in between all these courses and finish the courses.
It's not a selective course. We say that you have to, all of you, from architecture faculty to business administration to engineering to vocational school as well, 2 years program. All of them are having in the first semester basic entrepreneurship and in the second semester entrepreneurship project courses. This is mandatory. And in the first side, they give the basics like the business canvas, idea generation, business model, IPs, patents, or marketing, and 1 week branding as well. So an engineer is also know about branding issue. And then in the second semester, we group them. And those groups are selected from engineers and business administration all together. The team is founded by the backgrounds from more technology-oriented or business-oriented students. And at the end, they have the pitching.
Okay, and who is responsible for
Yes.
independent unit, like central unit of the university?
In fact, this was my like a dream, the design, because it's like an acceleration. We also make mentor matching in the second semester, so it's like an acceleration program. Our center is responsible, but from each faculty there are also contacts, and the faculties has the instructors from every department that are the coordinators and following up the process.
Okay, and do you also like help people in the TTO issues, like technology transfer and building startups? Then after these courses, so your center is also responsible for scale-ups or technology transfers.
We have a TTO.
Okay.
We have a technology transfer office, but in the TTO and also entrepreneurship center, we are have common issues. But in fact, our center is more student oriented, but TTO is more university industry collaboration. So for the spin-off, or because the students are now in their third year, so they are not still have a company right now, but in the future we are going to follow up these issues as well.
Okay, and maybe one more question, just one more question
Yeah.
about your research, because it was really interesting to hear how much is to be done to be more market oriented. And I was wondering whether you found any connections between the marketing strategy of the startups, and if there are any differences, whether the startup is doing his marketing globally oriented at first, or is building like nationwide marketing activities, and then after collecting some clients and building, establishing a position, they are growing.
I understand. I didn't make a division like this. I mean, like those born global companies, they directly make an international focus on international markets. But in my research, I just want to focus on the digital marketing, but beside the digital marketing, inbound marketing. Why? Because inbound marketing, you don't have to have a big marketing budget. You can do it by your own resources as well. But what I see, the relationship with market orientation and firm performance is very low. In fact, they have a marketing awareness, but the 6.9, it is very low, so it should be improved. And no moderation effect of inbound marketing. I mean, there is no effect in this relationship. So we can see with the other questions, they are not very focused on the inbound marketing as well.
Sure. I was just wondering whether there is a difference in the dynamics of
Global or local.
People, even with inbound marketing, are, for example, publishing their the information in English or in Turkish only, and then they are growing faster because they are reaching greater audience outside Turkey, for example.
Yes.
That might be interesting to
Do
research on that.
Yeah. You know, they are really very confused, and they are trying to do everything together. So unfortunately, marketing issues are in the very back side, but they should know that it is really important to grow up.
Okay.
So that's it.
Okay. Since we don't have any more further questions, thank you again for a very inspiring speech and nice discussion afterwards. Thank you all for watching us today, and please follow us in our social media and website. See you next time in our 5th Smart Lab.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.